I'm very often asked, how do I make a backswing? Where do I cock the wrist? When do I cock the wrist? How do I take the club back on plane? And many similar questions. And it's really not that difficult. Again, I don't spend a lot of time on the backswing and learning a lot of different positions, simply because how we move the club through impact is what counts. And when you look at tour players, you see hundreds of different ways to take the club back. You see the world's #1 golfer, Jon Rahm, is in what most would consider a horrible position at the top of the backswing. And virtually every golf instructor would try to fix his position here at the top, but yet he makes perfect impact most of the time, better than anybody else who's playing the game right now. And you could look at Scotty Scheffler or Jordan Spieth, or it doesn't matter, Justin Thomas, name any of the top players, Dustin Johnson, any of these guys, and you'll notice they're all different. So when somebody tells me they're trying to learn a model perfect backswing, I said, there isn't one. There really isn't. You could take the club back on the same plane you come down on, but to do that, we have to do, as I teach, which is really setting up with the wrists in an uncocked position, as Bryson DeChambeau does, really enable you to take the club back on the same plane you're going to come down on. So if we go back and down on the same single plane, it's really a single plane motion going back and through. So the motion is single plane, and really the key to it is getting set up and then how we initiate the motion. So we need to initiate the motion here with the club head from the feeling being pretty straight back. Now it is going to move a little bit on an arc because it's ending up back here. But the plane, the swing plane here, is also like this. You could see it at setup. If you draw a line through the shaft, you'll see where it's pointed. The club just needs to go back on that plane and come back down on the same plane. As far as cocking the wrists, I really haven't taught anybody in years that doesn't cock the wrists at all. And very rarely is it a problem. So it's not something I feel most people should be thinking about. But the way it works for me is as I take it back, I feel the rotation here in my pelvis and my upper body taking the club back. So I'm rotating back as the club goes up and the wrists are cocking as I get near the top. This is buying me time to get into the transition where I need to get the body back to the impact position before the club gets there. So you could practice it if you're having problems with the backswing. Just say, I'm going to go straight back. So here the club's straight back away from the target. You could draw a line there. And then we're going to cock the wrist. And then from there we're going to come back down. The club straight towards the target here at horizontal. And then impact. And then the club straight towards the target again. That would be a swing where the club's moving on a single plane as most efficient. Not some people try actually to take the club to the inside with the hope that somehow at the top they're going to miraculously find the plane on the way down. That's just very unusual that somebody would be able to do that. I see people take it back to the inside and 95% of them are coming back down too much from the inside, which then necessitates closing the club face with an early release. So in that case, backswing off plane and under the plane does cause a lot of impact problems. And so I deal with that in virtually every school I teach. I've had people who are taking it back this way as they were taught, and we have to spend a lot of time correcting that, trying to get them to take it back on plane here and then working on impact. So we will work sometimes on the backswing, but only if it's necessary because the path is way off. Rarely do I get somebody taking it to the outside. And again, if they are, but they're coming down on plane, that's fine. But in most cases, they're doing that and coming from outside, so the path back and the path through are the same. And usually it's caused by a faulty grip. They have too weak of a grip position. When you strengthen the grip a little bit and they do that, then the ball goes left, so they're able to fix that issue. So we want to take it back straight and through straight, makes sense. So you could also practice your backswing to be very single plane. It'd be on very much of a single plane doing this. If you swing back and through my grass cutting drill, back and through, which I learned from Bill Melhorn, you see the club moving on very close to the same plane, back and through. And so that's a good way to get a feel for it. I try to also get a feel for this turned position, my leading leg straight, my body turned, my legs straight, actually both legs straightening, not restricting the feet, legs, or hips, just making some practice swings, trying to get the feel straight back, straight through. And then when it feels right, then we're gonna set up and hit it perfect. So let me know if you have any questions or comments in the box below. I look forward to hearing about your successes. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.